Okay. Okay, good morning, everyone. It's Thursday morning. I'm starting to lose track of the days, but it is Thursday morning. All the kids should be up and around. You've had breakfast, and I think it's about time to do a little bit of Kung Fu. Break up the day, put you on a schedule. Kung Fu time is this time of the day, so join in. I think you can do this because it's archived and it's done live, so every day at this time you should get up and do your Kung Fu. You do your warm-ups, and then you... the website. Parent to try to sign into it, to follow, on the screen. So we're going to go through the basic forms. We're going to go through the warm-ups as usual. Lucien's going to, as usual, in class.
Yep.
Who been practicing, so work with the content and it's slightly new, you'll be able to follow better. Okay.
Sylvia, you want to switch the mic? I don't remember which one you had before. Oh, okay.
You're good. I'm good?
Because I'm not metering on that.
I'll shut off.
I'm not, I am metering now. Okay. All right, good morning, everybody. Here we are once again. So we start feet shoulder width apart, everything nice relaxed, nice big hoop, and we're going to turn. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. Reaching over, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. Raising up with the arms, we're going to stretch towards the floor. 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Middle one time, we stand up, inhale, and exhale. Again, 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Middle one time, inhale, exhale. And again, 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Middle once, inhale, and exhale. Hands on the waist rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Crossing the hands, knees, gentle circle, keeping the feet flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Switch hands, switch directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Hands on the waist, turning the head side to side. 1, 2. You don't want to do this too quickly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Tilting side to side. Right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Rotation, looking all the way around. 1, 2, 3. And we switch. 1, 2, 3. Okay, opening up. Arms out. Turn your head and the body will follow. Relax everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Crossing the fingers, turn to your right. So I'm mirror image to you. Straighten the back leg, let the heel come off the floor, keep your back straight and stretch. 1, 2, 3. Let's switch sides. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. And one more time. 1, 2, and 3. Let's flatten both feet. Straighten your right leg. And we switch. Switch, toe up. And again, we switch, toe up. Good. Standing up, turn to your right, both legs straight. Bend gently at the waist and stretch. Turn to your left and stretch. And to the middle. Let's bring our feet in. Everyone in the kids class knows this as the frog position. Elbows between your knees. You want to push on your knees to kind of stretch out the hip. Okay, let's sit, both feet together. Butterfly position. Put your right leg out, bring your left foot in, stretch towards your right foot. Hopefully you're following along at home. Let's switch. Left leg out, right foot in, stretch towards your left foot. Very good. Both feet out front. We bounce, switch, rotate the hip. And we're up. Okay, ready position, feet about 1.5 of your foot's width apart, hands at your sides. Most important part of ready position is eyes facing front, and we're alert, ready to go. We make fists, pull our elbows back, bend the knees, heels, toes, and toes. Bending the knees, Straight back, relaxed body, flat feet, parallel feet. Here we go. We're going to punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Low block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Middle block, come across the body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. High block, lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Limwam Samsik, all three one side, low, middle, high, switch, low, middle, high, switch, low, middle, high, switch, low, middle, and high. Closing. 1, 2. Low block with a punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, and punch. Closing. 1, 2. Middle block punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Closing. 1 and 2. Lifting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Danji Keel Seal, we squeeze down all of our fingers except for our index finger. Pull the elbows back. We push out to the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Going low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Going high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Last set, in front of you, shoulder width, shoulder height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Thrust, flip, roll, press. Thrust, flip, roll, press. Thrust, flip, roll, press, and we close. 1 and 2. Closing up your stance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shake it out. Deep breathing, palms up, elbows down. Inhale. Slowly come down with the breath as we exhale. Palms up, elbows down, elbows out. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Palms up, elbows down. Inhale. And exhale. Very good. Left hand on the waist, right fist up in the center, and punch. You want to try to relax the body, pretty much relax everything but your fist as you punch to the center. Use your eyes to focus on your punch. Gets you used to seeing things in motion, better able to target, to recognize if someone's punching at you. Okay, switch, punch. Okay, stop, turn to the right, and punch. Keep your body facing the front as you punch to the side. You don't want to lock your knees straight, everything nice and relaxed. And we switch, punch. Okay, both fists up by your ears, hiwachoi. Alternating punch, you're going to turn the waist. As you turn the waist and one punch comes down, your other fist comes up protecting that side. Fist should be about the height of your ear. You don't want to turn your head to the side. You would lose sight of your opponent. Keep your head facing the front, but your body does turn. Okay, stop. Binachoi, edge of the fist, in and out. Nice and relaxed. The philosophy on how we punch here is a stone on a rope. Your fist is the hard object. Everything else is relaxed. Okay, let's switch. Punch. Okay, very good. Chairlunchoi, cartwheel punch. Okay, you want to line up, if you see from the side, the fist lines up with the elbow of the other arm, and that determines the size of your circle. Okay, stop. Left hand on the waist, right fist up. Kwa choi, hitting with the back of the fist. Outside of that, pretty much the same as that last punch we did to this side. Okay, switch, punch. Okay, very good. Tilbo Tanachoi, lightly touching left toe to the floor in what we call a cat stance, barely touching the floor. Left foot forward, left fist out, your right arm is a low block position. You're going to switch your feet, keeping all your weight on the back leg. Switch, 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 and switch. Very good. Deep breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Very good. Now we're going to do kicks. We're going to start with our left foot forward, our right foot back. If you want to see from the side, left knee is over the toe. It's bent. Back leg is straight. I have my left hand on top. I'm going to punch, toe out. This opens up the hip. Lift the knee and kick with the toe pointed. Step right back, pivot, and punch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. Right foot forward, right hand on top, kicking with the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. Okay, Jitchanhoi, pushing out with the heel of the foot, otherwise exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, let's switch. Kicking with the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. Left foot forward again. Kicking with the left leg, we're going to swing this leg straight the entire time, so we don't want to soccer kick it. We want to keep that leg straight the whole way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Notice As I kick, my hands aren't dropping. You got to keep your hands up to protect yourself. Here we go with the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. Next, we're going to do round kick to the waist. Okay, when we do round kick, same mechanics. All the same things happen before and after. But this time when we toe out, we're going to lift our knee and bring our knee over, then let the foot out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch feet. Kicking with the left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. Feet shoulder width. Palms up. Elbows down. We inhale. And exhale. We inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Very good. So that concludes our warm-ups. We do these every single class. So if you're following along, hopefully you pick up on that. If you're a student at our school already, you should be pretty well familiar with those. We go through those every class. All right, so here we have Sifu's going to come take over for me. Yeah.
Okay, everyone, get a quick drink. That's what we usually do right after the warm-ups. We've worked the first form and second form quite a few times. There's some new people. Maybe I'll just go through some of the real basic things. Lucienne just took you through the warm-ups. So what are some of the basic things that just kind of let you know that things that you should practice if you're just coming in for the first time are opening your stance, bend your knees, 1, 2, 3.5. That's your stance, okay? When you throw a punch, you want to direct it right to your center line, and when you punch, just practice to build the coordination, okay? So when we're here and you throw a punch, you want to direct it right to your center. You finish the punch right at the very end, going to the low blocks and the middle blocks and so forth. When you do a low block, it goes right to your center, okay? Middle block right to you in front of your shoulder, and a high block is in front of your forehead. So those are a couple of things that you should realize that has to happen, okay? Closing the stance, you can close it this way, or in some cases, we even just hop up and shake it out, okay? Okay, now dragon claw, what is that, and what is a leaning stance? When we're in a horse stance and we turn to leaning, that would be a transition. So from here to here is a horse stance to leaning. Okay, so what happens if you look from the front view, when I bring this foot back and I turn, that goes to a leaning stance. A dragon claw is this. So what a dragon claw is the middle block turning to a claw position. So if you have trouble doing the hands and legs at the same time, get into a leaning stance first, bring a middle block, upper hand like this, turn it over, there's your front hand, the other hand is here. Okay, so you notice we would start from a cross hand position to here, and that would be your dragon claw. Okay, setting your hand up like this, like when you did the warm-ups and you had this position, that's pushing. You can push to the front, you can push to the sides, you can push low or high. That's just to get some of the sort of the dynamic strength into the movement. Now when we're like this, and this is called chunkyo. Chunkyo is a side block, and typically when you open your stance, you have this side block position, and sometimes we have this hook. Okay, so this is just letting you know that these are fundamental positions where you have to know that the fist, it's my right. If I'm facing this way, you put it on top. So your left hand is doing the block. I didn't want to do a mirror image for that because you might get confused. When you first learn this block, it happens mainly on the left side, and the punch that goes off of that becomes that. All right. So we learned that in the 5 stances, and then we learned it in some of the other moves. So let's start off like this, okay? This is the people that know this will just follow along. It's opening the 5 stances. Push out 1, 2, 3, elbow up, thrust down, or sink down, wrist block, sink. Okay, salute. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Bend your knees, okay? Let's turn. Step out. Let's set up our hands. We can do that in different orders. We could turn here first, set up the hands, and step out to offset stance. So you actually toe and heel line up, sliding step, punch. Reach behind, draw, punch, shift, cross, corner back fist, low, upper back fist to the face, high. Circular movements, 1, 2, 3, that's your punch, cat stance, reverse leaning stance, single-legged stance, hop, squat stance, uppercut, and close. Set your hands up, step to the side, sliding step, punch, reach behind, draw, step through, punch, shift, corner back fist, spin, back fist. 1, 2, 3. Reverse, reverse lean, lift, hop, uppercut, and close. So that's actually just working this side and this way. Now we're going to do it to the back side, sliding step, punch, reach behind, draw, okay, punch, cross, turn, back fist, 1, 2, 3, reverse lean, lift, hop, uppercut, and close. Set it up again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then we're back to center. So we did 5 stances. You did it all the way around, so you would have done it 4 times. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, we're going to go to the first form, but we'll do a few fundamentals for the newer people watching, give you an idea of what's in the first form, and then we're going to all do the first form together. Ready? So we're in this position, okay, bend the knees, open the stance, high block to the side, low block, cross, dragon, okay, set up your hands, turn, scoop, okay, we try that again, ready? So we open the stance, we bend, so that's a circle, you see the circle, shift your weight, see the circle, set up your hands, right? High block, low block, dragon, set up, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let me do it from this view so you can see in the mirror. We go high, low, okay? Center, drag it. So you see what happens with the front foot? It goes this way. See what happens to the back foot? It goes this way. And scoop. Okay. So that's something that you can practice. High, low, dragon, chun kill, and scoop. Okay, let's go to uppercut. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's leaning stance, cat stance. Leaning stance, cat stance. Leaning stance, cat stance. 1, 2. Now let's step forward, punch, okay? Uppercut, cat stance, with low block, and punch. So this is called removing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Squat down, uppercut, remove, and punch. Okay, shake it out. So that's for the newer people to kind of practice and do. That's going to be archived. You can watch that later on. Okay, doing the first form, we always start off in this position. Feet about 3.5, 4 inches apart. Pull the hands back, right? Step. 1, 2, 3, 4, salute. Pivot, offset horse. High, low, twist, dragon, step back, draw, scoop, uppercut, remove, and punch. You see what we just did? That's in the form. 1, 2, 3, 4. Suspended horse. 1, to the back. Drunken fist. Remove high. Punch. Squat down. Uppercut. Sliding step. Okay? Again, we're going to squat down. Elbow up. Now we're going to face this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we step to the rear. Draw. Elbow. Back fist, palm, high block, crescent kick, jump kick, here, trapping hand, back fist, remove, punch, back to center, draw, sliding step, palm, scoop, press, kick, take a step forward, punch, cross the hands, dragon. Step backwards, chun kill sliding step, punch, closing is this, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So one of the basics for anyone that is learning that's new, the ending movements. Okay, say we're in this position, chun kill. Sliding step punch, boom. Bring this hand to here, find your center, turn to leaning stance, okay? Adjust your foot, come back to cat stance, salute, 1, 2, 3. So that's how we close. How do we open? We go like this. 1, 2, now I'm going to break it down. Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, close, okay? In the ending, we actually step 3 times. This is right after the punch. We turn, and then here's that position. Saluting position, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? 1, 2. Sliding step. Punch. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's basically beginning the form with a salute, closing the form with a salute. Okay, now the second form. 1. Now this salute's a little bit different. We have to bring the back leg forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. To the corner. 3, 1. Okay, 1, 1, 2. 2 punches up, 2 punches down. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. Punch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kick. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, 6, 7. 1, sword fingers. So your fingers are like this. 2, trapping hand. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, shake it out. Deep breathing. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So for all of the students watching and also the people that are tuning in that's new, what are these sequences that we're doing? They're really forms that we call sequential forms or postures that are strung together. What is it? It's like a book. It's a book of movements. And inside that book has all these different postures, which are positions that we can learn to memorize. It's very hard to just give you, 50 different postures and you be able to memorize them. So, if I define what a posture is, a posture is, say, a horse stance. That's your lower part. That's your lower position for the legs. In the upper part, you have different things. We learned this. We've learned this. We've learned these low blocks, middle blocks, and high blocks. These are, typical techniques that all styles have. We have low, middle, and high, middle, and low. So that just means waist level for low. Middle is about here, which is really this space. Okay. High is this area. Okay. Now, when you know these areas, that's where your blocks are directed. You go low, middle, or high, depending on what the technique you're doing. So low means to press down or cover that area with some kind of defensive movement. That's what a block is. A block is a defensive motion. A strike is an offensive motion. So offensive motions can be punches, can be finger pokes, can be chopping. It could be diagonal strikes. It could be a back fist. So all different offensive movements comes in different variety of techniques or form. So this is a back fist to the shoulder level, back fist to the face, back fist to the waist, back fist to the waist, back fist to shoulder height, and back fist to the face, okay? Chopping, thinking of chopping. So you have to have a target when you chop. We use our own body as a reference. So if I'm going to the neck, that's about where that chop should be. If I'm going to the body, the waist, that's where that chop should be. Okay, so a chop is using the edge of the hand. A diagonal strike is using the edge of the hand, but also the edge of your forearm. So that's a diagonal strike. A lift high block is using this part of your forearm. A low block is using this part of the forearm or your palm. When you go like this, that's another form of a middle block. So why is it so important when we go through our forms to kind of define that space? So if we look at our body, you see this rectangle. You see this box. So that box is the space that you're trying to, say, protect. If we go above the neck, that's the area that you're protecting, right? So you have your ears, you protect with your hands like this. 1, 2, that's diagonal strike. If you're crossing your body from point A to point B, and from point C to point D or A, so they cross. Okay? And they cross. So that's what cross hand positions are. Your hands cross here. So you have a variety of cross hand positions. When I go like this, that's a cross hand. When I go like this, that's a cross hand. When I go like this, that's a cross hand. When I go like this, that's a cross hand. That's called a cross block. So which side is blocking? You're practicing both sides are blocks. You have one on this side, you have one on this side. Some people even block like this, and then right where the hands meet could be a block. So that's the way you would intercept something that's coming toward you. All right, so here's your cross hand position. This is a cutting hand. A cutting hand is a defensive motion. So we're in a cat stance and we cross our hands and open like that. That's considered a cross hand, cutting hand motion, right? So cross to cutting hand. Cutting means it cuts across, okay? So the hands end up like this. So in a cutting hand maneuver, after you block, you strike. So that's a palm strike. Palm strike to the waist area, which is maybe to the stomach, and you're using the palm of your hand. And you're striking out so that your thumbs are on the top. It's hands look like this. It's not like this. That's also a palm strike. You're like this. Okay. So palm strike only means you're using the palm. But in different postures like this one, your hands are like this. If you saw in the elbow, this is offensive movement, a rolling elbow. Offensive movement, I won't go into whether it's offensive or defense. I'll just focus on one side of the motion being offensive. Offensive is a strike. Palm strike is an offensive movement using your palm. Now, because I'm striking here, you want your palm to face upward. Okay, so what's upward? Your fingertips are like that. Sideways, your fingertips are like that. So just kind of look at the position, then you'll know. So when we do the forms and you go through it, look at which way the fingers are facing. Look at the surface that's being striking or exposed, depending on whether you're looking in a mirror or following it from behind. When you chop, look at the motion. It comes from here, and it comes from here. That's to the neck. If you're going lower, you have to drop your elbow. That takes you to the waist. Okay, so that defines the space that you're targeting. So that's why when you do a movement, say if you're here and you chop, you can see that you're striking to the waist. But what you might not have seen is that when I went like this, when my hand came back, it became a cutting hand. You see? Now when I scoop, turn this into a Z, that becomes a hook. So a hook like this becomes something that you use to hook things, or hook an arm, or hook a leg, or whatever it is that you're trying to use the movement for. Okay, so this Z position becomes a movement where you create the Z. So if you did the high block, low block, dragon, step back, chun kill, and hook, that's the positions we're looking for. So that's why when you're in class and we point out some of these things and we do it over and over again. Why do we do it over and over again? Because we have to develop what we call muscle memory. So muscle memory is your body learning a position. So when we go through the form where we have these book of movements, you have to kind of look at that movement and know what it is. And knowing what it is, eventually over time, you'll start to say, okay, I have to do a block to the side. What's the position for the block? Well, when I go like this and I block, this should be shoulder height. But the elbow should also be bent. Because a shoulder height position could be that or this. Most people, because we're doing this, think that when we block it's like this, but it's not. Those are two different motions. This is a pushing, this is side to side. So you open this way. So you can imagine if something comes here and I go like this, you can kind of intercept it. If something's coming toward me like a punch and I go like that, that's not the way to block a punch. So you're not catching the punch, you're actually trying to deflect the punch. So what is deflecting? When something comes at you and you kind of touch it and it goes to the sides, that's called deflection or redirecting. So most of our blocks are designed to redirect a force. So what is a force? A force is something that comes at you, could be a punch, it could be a chop, it could be a kick, right? So if someone threw a front kick at you, now you have to visualize, you can imagine, because we're not allowed to work with partners at this point because of, that social distancing. So you can imagine someone kicking toward me and I block. You can imagine someone punching me here and you block. Okay, so that gives you an idea that when you get into your positions, you're not just doing that. That's just kind of not mindful of what your movement is. You're not actually paying attention to what you're doing. So when something comes at you and you go high, it's coming to the head, I'm going to block like that. It's coming to my stomach or my ribs, I'm going like that. And then you imagine another punch coming towards your center. Well, I want to use my right hand, so how do I do that? I turn and I create that. Now you can imagine that there would be an arm here and I just deflected it. Now when I step back and I put my hand here, your technique actually would be I would grab the hand or wait till it comes and I deflect it like that. Another punch comes here and I use this Z motion. So now you see how important it is to have your hands in the right position, because if you're in the wrong position, the movement isn't effective. So if something comes to here and I go like this, it's not high enough. If it comes here and I go like that, I missed it. Okay, so you can see if I go like that, I missed it. If I go like that, that's too high. This is where you have to protect. If it's coming here and I create this position, you'll be effective. If I go like this or like this, it's not effective. So all these techniques are defined: low block, high block, dragon claw. So those are, dragon claws are middle block. So we have a couple of middle blocks that we've actually worked with already. So in the salute, we have this on both sides. You bring your hands together, that's your two positions. So this takes it this way. Because my hand is moving that way and that way, you can see when the punch comes, I'm turning like this. So when it comes to here, I'm turning like this. So the hand is just deflected that punch, and then I step up. Now this hand actually lifts. It lifts as if someone would attach your hand here, you would lift. This hand is coming like this. So that's actually like a circular punch. You say, well, when you throw a punch, if it's straight, it should be elbow down. That's true. Because the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But because my body's turned, I have to turn and then lift to balance this side. That's how we get into this position. So when you throw your punch out in the sleeve, it comes out, then you lift your elbow. That changes the technique. What's the difference between this and this? 2 reasons. When I go like this, the focus is here. That's the point of contact. When I go like this, the focus is here. Because now it came here, but I went like that, and now this part of the arm is being used. Same with this. When I'm here, this part of the arm becomes useful. So you're not only using your forearm in different directions, you're also using your body to find that direction. So that's why when we first go down to here and we turn, we're in that corner, and then we turn back, look at my shoulders, to square. Okay? Now when I fold my elbows, 1, 2, 3, that's what we have to do. So without even using the legs, you can see 1, 2, 3, drop your elbows and pull down. Fold, drop your elbows and pull down. Okay, so when we drop the elbows, you see the level position, vertical position, elbows back. Okay, so when you pull your hand back, when you punch, it's 2 directions. The forward direction is this. The backward direction is this. Okay? So if someone came around and gave you a big bear hug from the back and you didn't like that, what would you do? You would use elbow. So there's your elbow. That's actually why we would pull back, because it's called directing your movement. You direct your movement because that's what your mind told it to do. So we call that mind intent, conscious intent. So the difference between ballet and dance and what the kids do, as a performance thing is different from what we do in Kung Fu. What we're doing in Kung Fu is learning how to use our movement, and there's a function to it. There's a functionality to motion. So if we're doing this like in the drills, this is a punch, but it's also a defense. Because when I go like this and I pull back to this, remember I talked about protecting the side of your head, your ears? Think of your side of your head as your ears. You don't want to get hit in the ear, so you pull your hand back. Okay, you pull your hand back. That's why it's there. You don't want to do this. Punch, punch, punch. Well, you say, well, I can protect here, but right now we're protecting the upper body. If you were to do this, like in the first form, and we go like this, that's protecting the side. Okay, so let's kind of give you an explanation of why the different movements have, applications or functionality. Functionality means function. You can use it. Movements are useful. Okay, now, what other movements are pretty important to understand? These are all fundamentals, okay? So when you're in double block like this, remember we talked about high block being a block to the forehead? Okay, so there's 2 of them. Well, if someone came right down the middle, would you do this? Probably not, because it's wide open. So you'd have to bring your hand across to here for you to intercept that. So that's why when we're in this leaning position, we do a high block, there's only 1. But then when you do a high block, what happens here? You're not protected, so this hand has to be here. Okay, so whether you use it as a block or a strike, you have to have a hand in the position. Okay, now look what happens if we drop our elbow. We're in this parallel arm position. That's 2 middle blocks as a position, because that's 1, that's 2, but this is a position. We went from here to here. We just dropped our elbows. Okay, so we drop our elbows and it doesn't work as a block. What would you have to do? You have to turn. Okay, because the direction of movement becomes this. Now, because we're here and something comes here, what do you have to do? You have to bring your hand back to dragon claw. So that gives you an idea that when we move in our forms, we're not just moving for the sake of moving. We're moving to create and simulate a position of importance because of the functionality of that motion. So that's something that a lot of people don't realize, that when we do this, it's the transition. that takes you from posture A to posture B. That's really important. I call those transitions without voids. A void is an emptiness in space. So what do? If you go like this and you leave it empty, then there's nothing that's going to work for you. What you want to do is close that space as a void and then begin to use your hands, as they were supposed to or as they were designed to be used. So that's something that when people go through form, they don't understand what I call the transition. The transition is the most critical part of the movement. Of course, if I do a high block, it's blocked when it gets here. But to make that block effective and you get there, you have to intercept, you have to turn, and you have to turn in order to get into final position. But not just get your hand there. You just can't stand there and do this. You have to have your body form. Because the effectiveness of this technique comes from how we move the body. That's the imagery inside the transition. So why do we turn this way and this way? Because when we move, we have to move right or left, and so we have to move our body so we know that these are the movements that we're using. So when we go up, that's uppercut. Okay, why do we go up like this and then put this hand here? Well, the same reason is that when you go like this, then you're exposed here, so the hand has to be here. But at the same time, if it comes here and you press and you lift, there's your uppercut. Someone grabs your hand, you have to remove. It doesn't work if you do this, one side. You have to do this. Because this side has to pull back as this side goes forward. So you have a balance in motion. One-sided doesn't work. If you just someone grabs your hand, you just pull back, it doesn't do anything. If you put your hand here and you don't move the other hand, you don't have enough strength to actually remove it. So you have to coordinate that. And you still don't have enough strength until you pull back. When you pull back and sink, the force of downwardness comes in when you drop your stance. So all the newer people or the kids that have been learning, that's why you have to work your legs. When you're in a cat stance, you have to sink your stance. Sinking means to go down. Right? You throw a rock in the ocean or you throw a rock in the water, what happens? It sinks, right? So that's what we call sinking. When you get into a stance and you feel like you're going to drop that rock, you drop, sink. You know what? How do you sink? You relax, right? If I hold my arm up like this and I relax my shoulder, it sinks, it drops. So sinking is dropping, going down. And the opposite of sinking is lifting. So you rise. So when you go to this position and you lift, your body has to lift. When I sink the elbow, I drop like this. And then I turn like this, and that's going forward, and you sink into the stance. So that's kind of the ideas inside the form. Because a lot of times when we learn form, we only think of sequence. Sequence is important to remember so that you can house all these different postures in your brain, and at the same time you can pull any one of those out and try to practice them. So even for more advanced people, you can define the application of that technique, but then while you're defining the application of technique, refine the transition, the timing, and everything else that goes along with that. And it's a constant journey of discovering and interpreting what those motions are. And what are you interpreting? Interpreting the concept of the body mechanics that's built within the form. So that's something that you could probably study forever, seeing that body mechanics is something that's not understood, easily, because you can see the gross movement, but, the detail and the nuances inside that movement is very hard to understand in the beginning. So, all right, I think it's about time. So that's really basic stuff, but it's also intermediate level that could lead to a more advanced level. Okay, see you next time. Saturday, we'll have the same Kung Fu type of class.